Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Anime Circuit, your long overdue episode. Shit, what are we doing the same thing again? The 10, 11, 12, whatever the fuck?
10, 11, 12.
10, 11,
It's
12. all you.
Your long awaited podcast. You know, it's been about about three weeks since we recorded the last episode, but you know, even 3 weeks it took to even get
and
that
it's still
one.
not out yet.
Still not out yet. You're gonna get something of a double episode feature, or more,
It'll
maybe
be
like
out.
a
It'll be
6
out.
times feature of Anime Circuit. Last episode was Shinsekai Yuri, and today Jyu Oh Sei. But before that, we thought we'd get some stuff out of the way. I know I, for one, wanted to just throw out there my two favorite PVs coming up for the spring season, which were Kekai Sensen or Blood Blockade Battlefront. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
And then Shokugeki no Soma.
I'm so hyped for Soma.
And something else I'm also really looking forward to is finally, of course, you know, we can't really take key for the word when it comes to this situation, but the Angel Beats visual novel, or at least the first chapter of it, finally coming out May 29th, if we can take their word for it. But considering the circumstances of the announcement,
It's all
considering
lies.
considering they announced an OVA and also the new Charlotte anime with it, it's I don't know, it seems a little more
Probably
important than
legit.
usual. So maybe they'll finally stick to their word this time.
Well, now it's time to actually move on to
our show. Miles selected this show for us in the last podcast.
Jyu Oh Sei. Definitely a show that I had one of my first anime experiences with when I was starting to get back into anime. I say it's definitely at least worth a watch.
I'd agree.
Yep. I would say it's an essential watch, more so for the fact that it's a lot more unique than a lot of other survival shows that you'd ever see. The opening is fucking awesome. Drake may not
Oh,
agree,
God, I love
but
it.
whatever.
I have the same problems I have with it in basically any early 2000s song, and it's just, it sounds so weak. It sounds so monotone.
I like the style,
I don't.
but whatever.
It's actually sung by Thor post time skip. That's the guy who sings it. I always love it when voice actors have to do that, like are made to do their own opening song.
Usually I don't like it because it always ends up like being really fucking bad. But whatever. So what are your guys' thoughts on this series? Because it holds a nice near and dear spot in my heart. Not a favorite, but definitely something that I would say is an essential watch.
It was rushed. It's one of my biggest things. Very, very rushed. You could tell if it's near the end when just everything happened in one episode, and you're just like, "What is any of this? Well, why does he look like Third? What happened?"
They kind of told you everything, though.
Not especially.
No, I understood all of it.
You did.
Yeah, I know. I thought this anime explained itself quite well, like to the T.
I understood almost. I understood it up until like that final scene. Well, everything after the explosion of Valkyrie was like. So did Zagi and Tiz die?
Yes, Zagi and Tiz did die. They did die.
Well, I mean, I assume so, but they never confirmed it.
No, they did. They said that they died.
No, they did not say that they died. They did not say that they died. But you knew that they died because they were underground.
Well,
as everything
you knew
was
they died, but
exploding,
there was no
this, in the
confirmation.
and then they weren't in the time skip.
In the beginning of the anime, you see the little brother die, and it's just like, well, are we gonna save him? And they're like, nope, he's fucking dead. There's no hope. At that point, if any character seems like they've been offed, they're offed. This is a show with no holds when it comes to killing the characters. If the character seems like he or she is dead, they're dead.
No, one thing I wanted to, the thing I found the most confusing was that Thor looked exactly like Thor in the finale. In that very last scene, he's third.
Well, more so, I thought like third looked like Thor before the finale, and I was like, "Sir,
Yeah.
are you a genetically engineered human being too?" I mean, like, in that same essence that Thor is, because they all are.
Well, in the very beginning of the series, they mention the fact that up at the station, people were able to change their appearances whenever they
Yeah,
wanted to.
that's why third could look like what he did.
Well, at least like hair and eye color. I don't know so much about skin color,
And skin color.
but they did it artificially. That's the thing. Thor was capable of doing it naturally. So that's why he changed. All of a sudden he changed because he's able to do that naturally. It's a defensive mechanism.
Yeah, I was on the TV Tropes page, and it mentioned something about, like, chameleon mode or something, whatever.
It's a type of, like, a chameleon effect on the human body.
Yeah, like, my thing is, the anime never mentioned it, which is the biggest...
They did, though.
When?
Like at the final episode.
Well, they mentioned things like he's the perfect human or whatever, but never said complete, change. Like, his hair color changed completely, eye color changed, skin
At
tone
least they-
changed.
I thought that was all within assumption. I thought that was all within assumption, really, especially when you saw it, because I was like, okay, well now he just kind of looks like this guy. His body just did that for the sake of its own assumption that this had to be what he looks like to survive. Not that I thought it was necessary, but okay.
But basically, you find out that the reason why Thor is able to do all this stuff when he's a young kid and then be so skilled and talented in such a short amount of time is because
He's a superhuman.
He was engineered for it, basically. His body and mind were made for it.
Like my problem wasn't with him being so special within the short amount of time. My problem was him being special within no time at all. I mean, I love how like
his adaptability was that great.
Dude, I mean like when he killed like, one of his like first monsters so quick. And he said, "Oh, it's thanks to my gymnastics. I got an A in gymnastics at school." And I'm like, these people swing on vines to get around.
Funny.
And it's like, somehow you're still the most coordinated and flexible of everyone.
Well, he's also ruthless, so...
You wouldn't really know that as a city boy.
One thing I wanted to mention was the time skip stuff, where everything got really weird. Like, just, it dropped the entire, like, threatening environment stuff. You know what I mean? Like, the entire point of it before was the environment was out to get us. We have to survive. And, like, the becoming beasts again was kind of what I thought was the point of the series. And the time skip just ignores that.
It's because the time skip's in a blizzard.
Well, yes, but still, the time skip's like, the plants don't matter. We have evolved past that. That's just what it kind of felt like.
In 5 years.
Again. That was a 2-year time skip.
Was it 2 years?
No, it was a 5-year time skip. Not 2 years.
No, I thought it was 5 years.
I'm positive that Mouse said it was like he was 12 when he killed Ogre Top, and then
He was
15.
11 or 12 and he was 16.
I'm pretty positive it was 11.
I'm positive Mouse said he was 16. Well, 15 when he killed. I mean, after the time skip.
15 or 16?
No, he was
Around
15.
there.
I would check
So
that
that
right
was
now.
he was
closer to
15.
5 years.
Okay, so it would have been probably 4 years, I think, because I think he was 11 pre-time skip, and then he jumped to 15. Then he jumped to 15.
No, I'm checking on my phone.
Okay, keep continuing. We'll check.
I've already said my fair share about the show. What about you, Drake? Anything else?
It's an anime.
I mean, did you like it?
Sure, I guess. I mean, I liked it, but I won't deny that I think my time was wasted. I didn't take anything away from this show. I thought I just spent just 11, 20-minute segments, and that was it. There's nothing bad about it. The show was consistent. It was well animated.
It was a Bones series.
But I didn't think whatsoever, not during a single moment, while I was like, all right, so now we're on the planet, and now he's gonna go become top, and now he's dealing with, like, duo politics, and now we're in space, and now it's the end. Okay. I was, sure, yeah, sure, whatever. I was rolling with it the entire time. The show never really felt like I was tested. For 2 nights in a row did I watch this show half asleep and still felt like I watched everything just fine. I mean, of course, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with just a story. I mean, if you need something to enjoy, there's nothing wrong with this. I mean, just how, like, there's nothing wrong with, other stuff that's just kind of normal. There's nothing wrong with just saying that this is a time waster, I mean, I'm okay with that. It doesn't piss me off, and it doesn't really make me jump up in excitement, but I'm still okay with the middle ground. Not that I really want to be pissed off either.
4 years.
Yeah, so I was probably right then, 11 to 15.
He became Ogre top at 11, and then 4 years later he meets Karin, or whatever her name was.
That was a romance that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was really sudden. It made no sense. Like, I've been with Tiz for 4 years. Sup, hot chick?
He said he never really wanted to be with her in the first place.
No, I mean, that's fine, but, I mean, the thing is, just instantly I was thrown off. I was
He was just like, this chick is fucking hot. I want to bang her.
That's precisely it, though. That's all he said. That's all he said, as they were walking in the tundra, and he's like, this lady in front of me is really beautiful. I'm like, sure.
She's probably attractive by anime standards. Yeah.
And then he's like, I need to fuck that. And that's what he tries to do.
And then he gets her killed.
She gets herself killed.
Yeah.
Everyone dies in the show.
The only thing I took even the least bit of impression from this show was, in the first episode, was them killing the younger, weaker brother. Because I immediately assumed, okay, the older brother's gonna die, and then now the younger, weaker character is gonna have a character arc where he has to learn to get strong. That didn't happen.
And then all of a sudden proud of like, that. Nope, you fucking suck.
That's it.
Yeah, a little bro got killed. I'm like, I don't feel bad about you. I hated you. You were annoying. Bye.
They're like, we're gonna keep all the good characters and get rid of everyone else. And that's exactly what they did. Anyone who didn't fit into the ideal was thrown off. It was thrown off shit.
Also, one thing I thought was kind of weird was, why was everyone from the colony, like, Nordic? Had, like, Nordic names.
No
Odin,
clue.
Thor, Loki.
No clue. It was just cool. That's my guess. Well, actually, if you think about it, I guess you could sort of say that it's a pseudo-Norse mythology thing going on to give you clues as to who's important in terms of characters and what's gonna happen to them. A sort of foreshadowing with the names. Because Odin, Thor, they all come from the heavens, from the space station, down onto the planet. Thor leads the people, the Vikings, whatever, and fucking kicks ass. And Loki is, like, evil, but whatever.
Loki was the doctor, though, right? Wasn't Loki the doctor?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see your point. I mean, Odin maybe I kind of get as him being like top dog, 'cause that's what he was. But I mean, the Loki dude didn't really make any sense. He was just a doctor who was doing doctor things, and then when Odin was like, "Yo, we need to accelerate this plan," Loki was like, no, I don't fucking think so.
And he went out like an awesome guy. Professor Loki, you will be missed. But not really.
Second season. Just kidding.
What was things to include? Everyone's dead already.
An advancement of the world, as they are with now all the adaptive humans, that Thor's offspring produced.
I wonder how much sex Thor had after that. Like, my wife is dead. let me have sex with literally anything that moves.
The girl I loved is dead. The girl who loved me is dead. All my best friends are dead.
Everything I love dies.
I mean, my acquaintances are still alive, but the people I actually cared about aren't.
Everyone I loved is dead.
Alright, can we move on to your horror stories?
Lacrosse.
To your horror stories that I get to listen to.
Oh, this will be fun. Selector spread lacrosse. So Drake, you want to start us off?
So I took the time and courtesy to watch episodes 7, 8, and 9 because I missed them last podcast, and I didn't want to just jump ahead. I wanted to catch myself up. I wanted to be in on the picture and everything. All right. I don't remember what episodes, that were related to what that Nil took, that Will took, but from what I got from episode 7, first of all, fucking nothing. I don't even remember jack shit about that episode. Everything came to fruition in episode 8. Literally everything. Okay, I don't know where to begin with this.
It was where the show stopped making sense.
Episode 8 kickstarted everything. Every little fucking thing that just made this show easily some of the worst shit I've seen in a long time. This is so ridiculous. Honest to God, you guys have no idea. Okay, and you know what? And the thing is, I'm glad a lot of you, on HB who talked to me didn't really argue with me. Xseal did a little bit, but I got him on my side. Thank you. Whatever. I'm glad this didn't become a big deal. Because I flipped out. I really flipped the fuck out. And I want to flip the fuck out again. This show is so horridly and atrocious and bad. It's just bad. Okay. It's bad. I don't know how to say. I can't do this. This show is everything that makes this show what it is. Everything about the melodramatic friendships and everyone trying to hold everything over the other this is everything that made Black Rock Shooter such a piece of shit and the worst anime I have ever seen. And this is written by Mary Akoda, and this is her attempting that same story all over again. All over again. Better well hidden, because this is more spread out. It's 24 episodes. It's not as in your face. But when it all finally comes to fruition, oh my God, did I break? Did I break under this amount of just,
friendship ending.
Just cringe-worthy stupidity? There wasn't even really like any holes. I mean, the show was in its own, it was fairly consistent in its own right, but you can't get over the fact of just how dumb these characters are being. Honest to God, this doesn't make any sense. I don't know why you would want any of this. I don't know why you would go so far for any of this. Why do you do these things? It's just the shit you hold over each other and the shit you talk about. What are you doing? What are you saying? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, honestly, okay, so Mayu's plan is to fucking trap people in cards to make them feel loneliness? What does it accomplish? There's no gratification from it. Nothing. Nothing. She's still lonely. She's still pissed off. And says she's still in her own little fucking white room. Like, it doesn't do anything. And then when we even see her, what is she doing? She's being upset and she's being, like gritting her teeth and all this stuff because, yeah, what did you think? What did you think was going to happen? No shit. And it's just, oh my God. And then really when you think about it and you get even further into it, what is even holding Ruko to this story? Absolutely nothing. She has a main character with no relevance, and the only thing holding her here is simply just her friendships with Tama and Iona, or Yuki now in this case, because we finally got her a new name.
That was BS.
Whatever oh right, like you're what was it? You'll be snowing in the winter. That was the metaphor.
Snow in the winter and Tama.
No. My bad.
That's horrible.
I bad. My problem. Okay, I made a mistake. It was snow in the summer. That's what they said. He said, "Is like
yeah, that was
you will be snow in the summer." Because they talked about how snow is beautiful and how summer, the sun is beautiful. I mean, so let's just put both these beautiful things together and just make the most perfect beautiful thing you could ever have. snow in the summer. And then there was also this analogy that they sort of made that's like
torrential flooding.
That snow makes things go away. Like, snow makes noise go away because Mayu hated the outside world so much, and her only connection to it was the noise she could hear outside her room. And every time it snowed, all of a sudden, all the noise went away. And I'm like, no, snow doesn't make noise go away. People still live. People still do things. Things still get accomplished with or without snow. Snow doesn't mean anything.
People will be louder in the snow. They go out and play.
Okay, so then Ruko's relevance to this plot is solely being connected to Tama and Yuki and solely wanting to save these two characters. Okay, and then let's also think about Hitoe's role in the plot, which is to be nothing more than...
None.
No. She's there to be an example of how Mayu's own plans can
be a victim.
To backfire. Because Mayu clearly has not fully thought this out. If exceptions like Hitoe can exist, where her actual wish is contradictory to Mayu's own intentions, like,
yeah,
and it's hilarious.
I want you to have loneliness.
It's so hilarious. And then Mayu's credibility of a villain is even lost the second that Iona / Yuki, actually becomes probably the best character in this whole show. Magically, don't ask me how, but she became the one likable character left. And then, all of a sudden Mayu's credibility is destroyed as a villain, fully episodes before we even get to our final fight, because Ruko says, oh, I became friends with her dark side, why can't I become friends with her actual self? And I was just like, you actually said that. Oh. That's horrible!
It's brilliant. It's so awful.
Hey, let's think about this even further. Okay, so Tama and Yuki are these subconscious existences of both Mayu's light and dark sides, right? And somehow, in some way, shape, or form, because Tama is the sole existence of Mayu's light, that her subconscious has more or less made a foil to her plan before there was even ever a plan.
Yep. Deus Ex Machina. It's almost like Mario Koto can't write scripts. Who knew? Oh, God. It almost like Mario Koto shouldn't be a writer.
I like things she's made, though. I like Sakura so. I like Aquarion Evil. Granted,
I like Aquarion
Evil had an established world that
Aquarion Evil is shit.
She couldn't break too far from. But it's like, I liked Sakura so. Sakura so is fantastic. I know some other people.
Toradora.
Some other people like what she does. I guess Toradora is one of them. Yeah.
They're idiots.
Maybe it's just lately, because this isn't the first time. Okay, so I compared this to Black Rock Shooter, and before this came out was M3 The Dark Metal, and I compared that to
Don't
Evil.
bring that up.
No, seriously, it was seriously Evil though. It was mechs at a school where they fight enemies coming from a different dimension, and these mechs are powered by their emotions. It's just this time they wanted to be a little darker, so this time it was their fear as compared to their love. Everything about the setup was no different, even if the plot specifics were different. Everything about how it was set up and the way it progressed was no different, and it was the same exact thing with this show. Specifics entirely different conditions. I get it, but the way it was established and the way this plot progressed was the same thing as Black Rock Shooter, and I could not understand it. And then there was the other thing, but what was actually a plot hole. There was a plot hole. Was somehow Eulith being able to turn Tama dark, which didn't make any sense because Eulith had no relation to Mayu. None. How could she take Tama when Tama was the light side of Mayu that Eulith had no relation to whatsoever? Maybe if it was like, Yuki, maybe still as Iona playing, Tama, that would make a little more sense. It didn't make any sense. What control did Eulith have over Tama whatsoever to turn her evil temporarily twice?
Once you go black, you never go back. Brilliant. Also, that auto-tune singing at the end.
Oh my god, that auto-tune song. That was not just in the final episode, it was in the last 2 episodes, might I add. It was in both of them.
Oh, I know.
And it was horrid.
What's funny is I have in my notes for 10. I have in my notes for episode 10 that I liked the OST. 11 and 12. Yep. Fuck that.
Well, the OST in season 2 did get better. It greatly improved.
It was really haunting.
I finally paid attention to it. It caught my attention. I liked it. All the dubstep scores and the rock scores were really cool. I don't know what that auto-tune shit was, though. I mean, that song I was like, oh,
dear God,
make it stop. And then do that with an auto-tune.
Yeah. It was also kind of sad at the end, in the final episode, they didn't add sound effects to the opening. I was waiting for it, but we didn't get it.
I haven't really seen many shows that do that. I've seen a couple, but honestly not
Oh,
really.
no, season 1 did.
Did it?
Yeah, season 1 had sound effects in the final opening.
Oh, maybe
So
I don't know.
here.
Maybe they finally realized that idea was stupid.
No, when like JoJo's does it's awesome. Because JoJo's just a bunch of punching and screaming in the openings. I distinctly remember it having the music in the opening. I mean, the sound effects in the opening.
You know something else I was confused by?
What?
Was when Tama and Yuki fused to make their own version of Mayu, and why for some reason that Mayu was different looking than the other Mayu, who was supposed to be the real Mayu. So fake Mayu looked different from real Mayu, even though... So it was like fake Mayu supposed to be just the subconscious appearance of what Mayu wanted to be? I didn't understand what was with all of a sudden the green pretty girl that was, no doubt far more attractive than the actual Mayu. And then, we didn't even really get a direct, reason on how the game came to be, besides that just, Mayu is a ghost. And, that's the closest you're gonna get to any kind of supernatural explanation you're gonna get as to how she made any of this happen.
Yay!
God, this show.
I can't believe this exists.
Who approved? Who let season 2 happen? What idiot let that happen?
The community that bought
People like this show!
Unevolved.
People like this show! No, fuck Aquarian and Evil. Leave that
They're
out of
idiots.
discussion. People like this show. I don't get it. I don't get what is there to like about this anime.
I like season 1. I love season 1. One of my favorites of the year. Season 2 was a steaming pile of shit.
And in all honesty, even kind of reflecting on season 1, I didn't like season 1 either. I didn't hate it, but I don't deny that I kind of found it rather aimless. Just pointless. I didn't know where the show was going for so long. Season 1 was just aimless. I didn't understand it. I didn't know what I was looking at. I was just like, this show.
I like how 8 was a turning point for both
happening.
series. For both seasons. Drake.
8
was a turning point for both seasons. Because in episode 8 of season 1 was when Yuzuki became a rig. And episode 8 of this one was when it went batch insane. Also, one thing that was stupid about Yuzuki's and general stuff was they had to explain everything to Kazuki again in episode 11. He was literally there during season 1 for almost all of it.
He doesn't know what happened.
He knew all about the
Yeah, but I know
stuff.
he knew about the selector stuff, but he didn't know about the secrets behind the selector stuff. I mean, I understand why they kept. I understand what they had to explain to him. I thought it was fine. That part I thought was fair. I mean,
also, I think Yuki's chest went up a size each level. I wasn't paying extreme attention. I think it went up a size each level.
Honestly, I wouldn't.
I had to find something to keep me interested.
I wouldn't argue with it there because I think I noticed it too. Not. I wasn't paying attention to it. I didn't make a note of it in my head, but I think subconsciously, every time, I would look back at her chest, and I'd be like, all right, and then keep moving, and then
I thought it was bigger.
I know, but that's not even what through my head though. I mean, it was just sort of just the man in me. But then when she was normal, all of a sudden I wouldn't be looking when she was fighting like I would, and I was like, now I get it. Now that you bring it up, I understand.
I didn't notice in the final episode, and she was laying in her hands, dying. I'm like, her poo's getting bigger every time she levels up.
And it was really funny. I remember several times when I've said this show has no attractive character designs whatsoever. Literally, the good version of Mayu, the Tama and Yayona fusion. That girl is actually pretty. Only one though. Only one in this entire show.
Yeah, only characters without actually any appeal. Alright. From episode 10 and 12, I have some dialogue I need to read. Ruko, take me. And then you, Ru, came inside me and spread within me.
Yes!
I-
That was
Does
the
Mary Dakota know
the
what she's
worst
writing?
thing ever. And the thing is, it's not even the sexual innuendo that made it funny. It was just them trying so hard to work the title in, and I was like, "Wow, you'd stoop this low just to work your title in for no reason."
Mary Dakota, do you know how to write? I like the official Funimation subs, and that's what they said. All of that
You spread.
god awful.
You came inside and spread within me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Beautiful dialogue.
See, so do you get it? They're all selectors, and they spread their friendship, and the game is called WIXOSS. And I'm like,
Stop. Please. It hurts.
You didn't sit through this.
Log Horizon.
So, Log Horizon.
Log Horizon! Yay, something I can talk about. And say that I enjoyed it greatly.
We want to say we enjoy things greatly, too. Don't think that like we enjoy having our minds
We enjoy hating
mentally tortured and binded to a wall as we constantly get more and more nails stuck into us.
Alright. You guys vent about it and positively vent about Log Horizon, and then I'll jump in. Go.
Episode 10 was a waste of time.
Hey! I said positive.
I liked episode 10. I liked episode 10 a lot. I think a lot actually happened. Personally, I think a lot happened. Okay, episode 10, we had William, we talked about William's integrity as a gamer because, of how isolated he was. We got his own origin story. We focused on on him regretting on never out of ever joining the Akihabara roundtable because he thought it was something that wasn't going to work, and and he doesn't want to run away anymore. And then the episode ended on,
And that was some raid.
And then the episode ended on Shiroi questioning his honesty and his own motivational prowess to others because he realizes he's a great strategist, but he's not really the best talker. So, I mean, I thought a lot, not a lot got done, but we learned a lot. The characters changed.
It was too long of an episode. There, that better? Way too much time was wasted on it. But 11 was pretty cool.
11 was one long fight
boss.
scene. That's all it was. It was a fight.
Yeah,
And
but
it
it was
was
better
awesome.
than an episode long speech.
After an episode long
Also,
speech,
she's
we got a
like
full
Dimik's
episode
wife.
long fight. And it was amazing.
Yeah. Dimik's wife is best girl.
Marietta.
No, Dimik's wife. The unnamed woman who married Dimikis.
Yeah,
For some reason.
that was weird. But whatever. They mentioned it beforehand, so I guess they just decided to follow up with it.
She was amazing. She was awesome. She like told him to shut the
she
fuck
just
up and
didn't-
go.
She just said, "I'm not gonna have any of your shit," and then
That's
he
what made
was
her
baffled
awesome.
by that. And that's exactly what I would have done in her position. I'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Calm down."
Why are you breaking our kitchen or whatever living room?
It was kind of cute a little bit, I guess, when she said, Demikis kind of looked more happier than usual. By finally, becoming like,
Gloating about how he saved Shiro.
yeah, save Shiro. Sort of on a very small level. Not friends, but acquaintances, with him. I think they still don't
They
really,
agreed they
I
hate
still
each
don't think
other.
they really like each other, but they agreed to hate each other for all time. And now it's just kind of just like a bro rivalry.
For 12, which had a lot of stuff to talk about. That plan.
God, 12 was so good. I mean, I watched Log Horizon personally. I watched Log Horizon for Shiro to kick ass and to manipulate people and to come and to find the loopholes and everything. And oh my god, he did it again. And it was brilliant.
This is why I watch Log Horizon.
I mean, to basically sell Akihabara, to the fucking Kune clan and put it under the Yamato server to recycle the amount of money that goes in and out again and again to fucking own everything. It was amazing.
Yep. That was brilliant. Never would have thought of that myself.
And then the thing is, he even kind of manipulates. What's his face? Because I forget his name, but I always just refer to him as the Kunia guy. Yeah, the Kunia guy. So it's like he kind of manipulates the psychology of the Kunia guy too. You know, by saying like, I don't seek wealth. I'm not here to buy anything or take anything from you. In fact, I'm actually giving you my property, and this is how it benefits both you and me. And I was like, yes, Shirei, tell me more. And then he's like, oh, but you know what I'm gonna do? I'm also gonna take all the money I keep getting back from you and also buy all the field zones. And I'm like, you literally.
And then give them back to you.
Everyone ejaculated simultaneously.
So like now, like Shirei has literally defeated any and all upcoming power struggles because everything belongs to the Kunie clan.
Yep.
Well, that's not necessarily true, but okay. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a point of the rest of the series.
On a documential level, or if that's even a word, like, that's basically what he did. But we did get introduced to new villains, so of course,
undocumented level.
Yeah, because we did get new villains, of course, foreshadowing new villains. See, they're probably going to be fun and great to see.
One of them was from the Tea Party.
So yeah, I mean, of course, fighting is still going to go on, but I mean, over territory. There's not going to be any fights over territory anymore. There's just
none.
There can't be.
Also, Drake, I have a question. Has Nuraha always been in the OP?
Has who?
You know her, the Black Fox chick? From the end of Season 1? Has she always been in the OP?
Yeah.
I just haven't noticed.
Maybe. I mean, honestly, I can't tell who half the characters in that OP are.
You haven't met them yet.
They put every fucking character in that.
They're not going to change it.
Will they ever change the song? No.
Please change it, though. I mean, as much as I love Database, and I love Database.
I'd like some variety, personally, but...
Yes.
Honestly, I'm not really disappointed anymore. If anything, I kind of want them to keep it if, like, we got a Season 3, because it's like, now I just find it the series staple. And then I thought it was extremely cute when, like, Mario was trying to choose clothes for Natsugu coming home. I was like, you are so adorable.
Yeah.
This relationship's so adorable. And then Tetra had to step in and fuck it up.
Hey, at least we have information that Tetra's a dude.
Yeah, that was a little...
Even though
if
Drake
hadn't spoiled me, I would have been like, what the fuck? I would have jumped on my seat.
I swear to God, though, if Tetra steps in to ruin things again in the Valentine's Day episode, which is going to be next week, I'm gonna probably flip tables.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
It's Valentine's Day. You do not ruin this precious moment for the best couple in the entire series.
It's gonna happen. Because everyone's gotta get cock-blocked, because no one's allowed to go anywhere. That's how it works, Drake.
No.
No.
That's what happens for. That's how it happens for Shiro. That's how it happens for Shiroi. This don't happen for Natsugu and Mario. Or, you know, their relationship is solidified. Okay.
No. I refuse.
No. They even said maybe broken apart.
You know, I'm gonna be entirely honest. I can't even remember the last time I've shipped, like, anything. Like, not even, like, this much. Just anything at all. Like, you know, Lock Horizon brings it out of me, though.
Finally back to where it's good.
Mm-hmm.
We're finally past all the Akatsuki crap.
Yeah. But we've been past the Akatsuki crap for, like, the past 3 episodes.
I didn't even say anything about it. Log Horizon was good. It's fun.
Okay, so Fate Stay Night Unlimited Leather Works.
It was fun.
Episode 9. Episode 10. Okay, so episode 10 opens up on a really, really, actually surprisingly good and chilling flashback.
The nightmare fuel, you mean?
Yes!
That was nightmare fuel, just like flashes of death and things. And Archer screaming. Like, what is going on? What is this?
I don't know. Dude, I mean, I don't like Fate Stay Night, but I can't tell you, but like that, I mean, but when that flashback happened, holy shit.
Chills down your spine.
I was like, yo, like, this is actually some pretty cool, this is some cool looking stuff right now.
This whole show is
like,
cool.
What are you
talking about?
I was in on that.
It looks very pretty.
No, I can show you guys some, like, pretty weird frames, actually, if you had me look. Actually, I have a couple in reference.
The one of Kuzuki.
Yeah, like the one of Kuzuki when he's beating the shit out of everybody. I mean, I even posted it on Hummingbird. I was like, Well, what did I say? I was like, before I go to bed, just remember, guys, never to be fooled.
I thought it was Kirei for a minute, because I know for a fact Kirei is going to come back. Kirei is not sitting out of this war. I refuse to believe it.
Gilgamesh came back. I mean...
Yeah. I refuse to believe that Kirei will take part in this war.
Miles and I have seen the Limited Blade Works movie, and if this is still Unlimited Blade Works, then, well, it's Kirei and Unlimited Blade Works.
You know what? Just, I'm gonna go off topic here for a second, but this is one thing that I would really like to see the Fate series do, that it will never do, I know it for a fact, is have a route where Kiritsugu is still alive. And then joins, and then he doesn't join the actual fight. Shiro still joins, but Kiritsugu mentors him and then warns him about everything. And then you would see this sort of animosity between Saber and Kiritsugu the whole time. And it's like, oh, that would be amazing, in my opinion.
I don't think Kiritsugu needs to be alive for that.
But to have them fight, like literally, why the fuck did you do that at the end? Because Saber didn't understand. Saber was left in the dark. She never figured out what happened.
She doesn't understand here. She didn't even really understand until episode 11 when she talked to Shiro, and he talked about, this is kind of what my father was and how good of a person he was and what he did for me, and she instantly kind of changed his mind, and she changed her mind, like, at the flip of a switch.
Yeah, but I want to see her do it directly. That's what I want to see. I want to see them fight. I want a literal fight scene between Kiritsugu and Saber, and see who wins.
I think that's more fan fiction than even I tend to fucking do for this series.
Yeah.
It would be cool.
All right.
It would be cool.
It'd be Saber, wouldn't it? It'd be Saber would win.
How do you know?
Obviously. Because Kiritsugu, as much as bad as he is,
because
could not beat Saber.
Remember, she's using Shiro's mana. She's still summoned by Shiro.
Okay, your point.
I don't think that really has anything
So
to do
weaker.
with anything.
I mean, if you
doesn't.
think about it, in one of the previous episodes, she got her ass handed to by someone that wasn't a servant.
You can't draw that parallel. Because, okay, let's think about what style of action actually happened in Fate Zero and what kind of style of action goes on in the Limited Blade Works. They are two very different things. It's like, you would have to, first of all, imagine how Kiritsugu would actually be fighting in a setting where Miura is the director. Just, because Kuzuki was a mage too, right? But he didn't do this flash action shit, I mean, no mage did that, in Zero. Like they are doing here. Both servants and masters are, equally are doing here, because new director, new story, shonen environment, it's what happens.
Whatever. I'd just like to see that.
Anyways, so the biggest highlight to episode 10 really was what, just the fight?
Yeah. But that was an amazing fight.
I liked what Kuzuki said, though. Cause when Rin shot him, and Caster said, she's like, why did you reveal yourself to them that you're a mage? And he's like, I didn't. I found my prey. I was like, yo?
My notes say dumbasses set a trap for themselves.
He was doing it on purpose, so then he could draw him out.
I mean,
he's just like, I'm a boss.
He didn't even do anything badass yet. That was just a badass line.
Yeah, he's just like, alright, my enemy's just let himself be known. Time to kick ass. And then he did. Oh, he did. And
then the whole trying to adapt, things of a text-based medium into visual-based medium, that the whole flaw kind of reared its head again. Because Kuzuki's beating the shit out of Shiro, and then all of a sudden, the second Shiro gets his swords, all of a sudden he can keep up with Kuzuki for no reason. Now really, the visual novel does explain this. When you when you project things, you not only project the very material itself, but also the history it's experienced. And so Shiro wasn't so much fighting, but more so the swords were themselves. You can't get that from watching the anime, though.
Whatever. It'll probably... hopefully it'll get explained. Because they haven't really had a chance to explain it yet. How his magic works.
But, guys, the foreshadowing. Oh my god. This is a ridiculous amount of foreshadowing.
Let's not get to episode 11 yet. I mean, okay, so I mean, what else did episode 10 have to offer? Gilgamesh.
For like a second.
Yeah, Gilgamesh, for some reason being in the pit.
Gilgamesh was like, this little shit is ordering me around. Okay, I'll play with him for a second until he really pisses me off, and then I'll rip his heart out.
You think you're being funny by making he's making an indirect reference. It's not. Don't take what he said literally. Anyways. No, I mean, Gilgamesh's relationship with Senji wasn't what I found to be, like, too hilarious. It was Gilgamesh's speech about how too much in this world is superfluous.
Excess.
He's like, there's an excess amount of people and things we can do.
That's the point of progress, isn't it?
The thing is, yeah, I mean, if it was the point of progress, that wasn't even what really cracked me up. What cracked me up was, like, Gilgamesh, how much of the world did you even really see back in your time? But I guess he sees no value in the world. So now we kind of have to give him a reason for, I mean, no, that is his reason for, wanting to be our antagonist now who wants to destroy the world.
I mean, even, you want to talk about excess. How many swords were in that other dimension of his?
Fuck, I know, probably everything. Too many. Unlimited? Like,
yeah.
Probably literally unlimited if he so claims to own every treasure in the world.
And you complain about excess. Check your privilege, Gilgamesh. Check your privilege.
Honestly, it's not that big of a deal, though. I mean...
I just found that funny. Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal, though. Yeah.
No, I mean, we're beating the shit out of it more than it really has to be. But I guess just because Fate doesn't really give me much else to talk about, in all honesty.
Well, episode 11, not much happened. Except a lot of foreshadowing. A lot.
No, episode 11 definitely probably had one of my favorite scenes actually in the visual novel. And that was Rin and Shiro talking on the balcony about, their definition of fun. And just, not how they live their lives, but like why they, live their lives. It's like, this is what is entertaining to me. And this is what is entertaining to me. This is what's not entertaining to me. I thought it was neat. I mean, it was a quieter moment and a more subtle moment and a better look into why, Rin and Shiro do the things they do. Like, yeah, why isn't Rin in London as compared to going to school in Japan? Just, high school's fun. That's it. But that's okay. I mean, that just makes her seem more human. Finally.
And not just a tsundere. But, also in that episode, we saw Rin's famous outfit. The, only outfit I've ever seen fan art of Rin in.
It's the only thing she wears. That isn't like the school uniform and the red coat.
It's literally all the art I've ever seen of her.
Her sexy sweater.
It's not even the sexy sweater. It's the skirt. That's what it is.
Hey.
I mean, that camera pan up started at her thighs for a reason.
Well, you know what? I'm a fan of the sweater.
Knee socks, man.
I don't know, man. That depends on the girl. I don't think knee socks look good on her, but whatever.
Knee socks looked good on her in the Dean version. I'm gonna be entirely, yeah. I mean, I think I've already said this even in last episode. I think Dean drew better legs for Rin, at least in the Unlimited Blade Works movie. I mean, they gave him a nice curve and a nice shine. It was pretty damn perfect.
Nice shine.
Did you take notes on the curve of her leg?
I take notes on the curve of her legs. It's important. So Archer came in and helped
with a ridiculous amount of foreshadowing as to who Archer is. If you haven't figured it out by this point,
Archer's getting on this whole talk about counteracting Shiro's ideals to the point which I think even Archer, even what he says, is just his own opinion. Because in all honesty, a lot of the shit he was saying, I didn't even really agree with. To be all honest, he's like, "Oh man, this is how ideals backfire on you," and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, No, I think you just kind of take that out on yourself, bro. But I get it. You know, he doesn't want to make Shiro really kind of, make any stupid mistakes. I mean, he was kind enough to help him, and heal him, after Shiro from episode 10, summoning the projection. Too much projection, I guess, because magic has a scale. That's always one thing I never liked about Fate Stay Night. Was that the projection was too good, and so now all of a sudden his circuits are broken.
Also, the people that they're killed, why didn't that, heal it? The people that they're killed stuff did not transpoil.
I think that's more on a physical level than it is a.
I assumed it was something like that about not healing magic circuits, but a bit of explanation as maybe later when it's revealed why he heals so much.
The thing is, you kind of yourself know why he heals so much. The show hasn't really.
They kind of showed you.
You're kind of
holding
people
Zero,
die if they are killed. Kind of over this show for no reason.
No, I'm saying once they do, they'll probably explain it.
Oh, I know that.
At this point, does Archer know who he is?
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I would hope so. This guy literally walked up to him and he said, I know what's wrong with you. I know what you did. I know exactly where you hurt.
I had literally the exact same injury from the exact same thing you did. It's like, you have to know at this point. An average viewer has to know at this point who he is.
Honestly, I've had friends figure it out from episode 1.
If I hadn't accidentally been spoiled, I would have gotten it. I know for a fact I would have. Also, one thing. Does Rin not know who Kiritsugu is?
Pretty sure.
No.
Because you'd think she'd know about the fact that her dad fought against him in the previous war.
She probably doesn't know any of them who he fought against. I mean, she's just a little, she was just an 8-year-old child.
What do you think that now she's in the war, Kiri might have mentioned it? Or told her the stories of the war?
It's no benefit of him or her.
But, Kiri probably would definitely tell her about his how he defeated Kiritsugu.
But he doesn't want it known that he was.
I just don't see why it's necessary.
I just don't get how Rin doesn't know anything other
I
people.
think it makes perfect
he
sense.
ended up being her guardian.
I think it makes absolutely perfect sense. It doesn't matter whether it's telling her about Kiritsugu or Karia or Ryunosuke or Waver. It doesn't matter. No one matters anymore.
You all have no purpose.
And in all honesty, I mean, yeah. I mean, Nasu doesn't want them to have a purpose. He wants this to be as separate as possible from Fate Zero. And just in all honesty, Miura's not letting him. So anyways, World Trigger now?
Sure.
It's okay.
No, I still don't like it.
Episode 9.
My only notes for this. Fuck this show.
Why?
Okay, no, we can take, okay, so basically, Jin's trying to invite Yuma to the Tamakoma branch because, Border wants to fucking kill Yuma and take his black trigger from him. And then also everyone also freaked out over the name Kuga because he's one of the founding fathers of Border.
Yep.
Episode 9. That was episode 9. Episode 10, we don't fucking talk about shit in episode 10. Okay, episode 10 was probably the worst episode of World Trigger yet.
Yep.
I mean, but we do know a couple things. Yuma's looking for, I wrote the same down. So Ichi Nogami, who is Jin's mentor and his black trigger, and now that that dude's gone because he's Jin's black trigger, therefore he kind of killed himself. It doesn't matter, and just now Yuma feels like he kind of has no purpose to be on Earth anymore. Okay, that was episode 10. And that was only 2% of episode 10, and the rest was nothing but slice of bullshit that made you want to stab your eyes. And then episode 11 happened, and all of a sudden the show got really good.
You can't Fullmetal Alchemist.
Dude, episode 11 was so on a different scale and so on par with something else that is way, way better than, what World Trigger has been. It's hard to believe that this episode was even in the same show that we've been watching for 10 weeks up to this point.
I'd be inclined to agree. Did not expect 11.
But yes, it essentially, in its own way, kind of became Full Metal Alchemist, right? Because Yuma's trying to find out a way to restore the body of him and his father. And then not also that, but also like Yuma for a bunch of years was sort of used as a military dog because, he had his black trigger power. And finally we get an explanation as to why Yuma can, tell when people are lying so often. That's because that's the side effect of his black trigger. And I'm like, okay, cool. Explanations, and alright, cool, Yuma backstory, and alright, cool, seeing his father die was actually...
It was kind of dumb.
It wasn't sad, but,
I didn't like it. That scene was really... Yeah.
Forced.
It was just like, hey... at least Yuma recognized that it was forced. He's like, why the fuck did he do that? Why was he smiling?
It's like, what I'm saying, though, is I can just kind of understand, from Yuma's perspective, him being this little, this cocky little shit in this big war, who's a really noble and good fighter, and all of a sudden him getting knocked out and kind of waking up to his dad being dead. Like, yeah, I can kind of understand the shock a little bit. I mean, it made sense to me. I liked it. And then, Yuma, this whole thing about him knowing that he's not really doing, the good thing that his people keep preaching him, that he's doing, for the war, by fighting, for the military for 3 years because he can constantly detect lies, but he kind of rolls with it, despite how bad he feels about it. And I'm like, yes, just more character, give me more. And then, also Yuma's body is made of Trion. So because his body is made of Trion, he doesn't have a physical body. He hasn't aged since he was 11. So he basically has not aged for 4 years. Because he's 15 now, right? I think he's 15. So he hasn't aged for 4 years, and his body is entrapped inside his ring, and it's slowly decomposing. So Yuma's body is decomposing. He feels like he has no reason to be here because Suichi's dead. And then that's basically the end of his flashback, and we learned that much within his flashback. And now Chica's character is starting to develop too, because now all of a sudden she wants to join Border to gain the right to go to the other side of the portal and actually get to
her brother and friend.
Yeah, to find her brother and friend. And so it's a little bit inconvincing. She gets Osamu on her side. And I took a note here though about Crunchyroll's subtitles where it was "I'll make sense," and then they capitalized the M. And then there was another line after that says, "There's nothing I can outdo you." And not only did that line not make sense, but also outdo was one word. And I was like, this is some of the worst Crunchyroll subs I've ever seen.
That's because Crunchyroll doesn't care about this show.
Well, apparently they also didn't care about Fate Stay Night.
Men in white. Men in blue.
Right? Men in white.
Well, that's true.
Anyways, so, with that, Osamu kind of talks to Yuma about why he does things, and Osamu's like, oh, I'm not really a selfless person, I just know that if I can't take on the little things, how am I supposed to take on the real hardships, And then so that kind of encourages, and so Osamu's words kind of, encourage Yuma to help, both him and Chika form their own team, and now they've all joined Border under the Tamakoa branch. And that's the end of episode 11.
One of my favorite things as a general trope is when a character is like a do-gooder, like Osamu and Shiro. Fate Shiro, not Love Horizon. Like when they always have the "I want to help everyone" thing. And then it's just like, I don't really care about anyone else. I kind of just want the satisfaction of doing it for myself. I just kind of love that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, but the episode 11 here, though, I mean, I'm probably blowing it out of proportion, because this should have been the standard, of course, but I mean, it's just, I can't deny the fact that so much is fun, where we were even lucky to get one thing happen every 3 episodes.
Yeah, but that's the problem. Nothing fucking happens in this series so far. That it's not a great series. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone. So far, I would not recommend this to anyone. From what I have experienced. This is not a good show.
Something with, episode 11, I think shows that this show can be good, because this is the most notes I've taken on any episode this For
But
all
that's the problem, Drake.
15 we have.
It can be good, but so far, it has proven otherwise.
It's just proven to be too slow. Too painfully slow. To the point that's even slower than the manga, and I thought you couldn't get slower than that shit. And this anime fucking did it. But it's like, oh my god, did so much happen in episode 11. So much. And it was great to see. I mean, finally the show to get the, ball rolling. Episode 12, next week may not be the same thing. It might go back to being a slow ass pace to the point where, it's like nothing's happening again. You're going to hate the show again. But I mean, if this show can recreate episode 11 every time, it'd be good. It might not even be great, but it'd be good, because all you have to do is just have stuff happen. That's it. Just have stuff happen. And this episode did a lot of that. Akatsuki no Yona.
It was pretty decent. I don't like Akatsuki no Yona. I will say this right now. I don't like the series.
Me either.
It's okay, but it's a reverse harem. I don't have anything against him. It's a lot better than a lot of others, but it's a reverse harem with
that's trying to be something better than it is, but also failing at it.
It's failing at being a reverse harem, so the comedy that it puts up is not funny at all half the time. And the characters are very generic. Okay, I lied. The characters are not generic. They do have some good depth to them, but they're very new, and they may have depth to what they already have, but they don't really have much of a background to them. We see the backstories, and that's all we get. We don't really see much of a perspective from those characters. Especially the new one, the new dragon guy that got introduced.
Hija.
We literally know nothing about him, other than the fact that he was born there and it was his destiny. And now he's just like, okay, I'm along for the ride. It's like, we don't get to hear about anything about you, other than the fact that you're like a dragon. And you're just kind of born into it. Okay, whatever.
You have a giant claw for an arm?
I just don't... I don't find this show appealing for several reasons. But I do at the same time. It's got me very mixed about it. It's good for filler for the good shows when you're waiting. That's about it. It's not something I look forward to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Drake. I know you really like this show.
It's better than World Trigger.
True.
Better than Cross.
I don't know, but hopefully true.
Worse than Unlimited Blade Works. That's it. That's my opinion on it. But the only thing I wanted to note was, I really like the opening. How it's evolving. Adding the dragons behind every character. And the shot in the desert when they're walking.
Yeah, but that's the only time it evolves.
Well, yeah, but I still like it. Cause it's a nice touch.
Okay, so anyways, my opinion. Agreeing with Miles a little bit. Yeah, the humor doesn't really work in the show. I don't think it's necessarily out of place. I just think it's unfunny. But besides that, I liked episode 9 a lot more than I did 10 and 11. Episode 9 I thought kept up really well with what I've enjoyed about the show the whole time, and it's the relationship between the characters and and Yona kind of adapting to a new environment. And it was more so the Yona focused episode than anyone else's, because so far I've kind of really liked a lot more of the bromances and family relationships between all the characters, which Yona doesn't really have. So episode 9 was finally kind of her chance to sort of shine and develop in an episode finally, and I thought it worked. I thought it worked just enough, because Yona, one line that she said that I really, really, really liked when she tried to shoot what was it, a little baby boar, I think it was.
Yeah.
Was that she's, when she took the bow to it and she missed, she said, I needlessly harmed it. That's cruel. And so she understands that, killing isn't what's bad. If anything, killing's probably the best thing you can do for trying to bring harm to anything, because at least then you can end it in an instant. And I think that was some maturity shown on her part. And I really enjoyed seeing that. And I really enjoyed seeing her practice with the bow continually for this episode and then the next ones to come. Besides that, the introduction of Kija and kind of what he adds
Not
is
much.
extremely formulaic. It's formulaic to a T. I mean, he doesn't do much of anything. And then the show kind of even willingly pointed that out. Not that I think that's a fair excuse for him not to do anything.
Yeah.
It's just the show. If it's going to become, about finding all the dragons. So white for 10, 11, and then blue is next, and then whoever's next after that, and after that. I mean, and I'm assuming we have to get all of them done at some point because we saw them in the flash forward. So maybe the flash forward is something akin to like what the finale is gonna look like.
Probably.
I don't know.
Second season.
But the show definitely is more or less, it's getting more generic just by these two episodes, episode 10 and 11. Just sort of watching just Kija kind of show up and then them just talk for episode 10 and not really talk about anything. And then they leave and then they just walk around in circles for episode 11. It's okay. Blue Dragon next. Hopefully he's better, more interesting. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's gonna kind of wrap it up. With the next podcast, hopefully will be a week from now,
Doing
and
Idolmaster.
not nearly a month. Yes, the next show will be Idolmaster.
Which I am so happy because I watched that because I had a bad weekend. Oh, God, it's amazing. Mickey, best
The
girl.
first episode is so
Are you
bad.
overblowing it because you just had a bad weekend and so it made you feel better?
I don't say I'm overblowing it, but it definitely attributed to it, but not by much.
Okay, well, I mean, I definitely took a lot of certainly in-depth looks into Idolmaster as well. And Miles' opinion, I think, probably only comes from like the first episode or two, of which I too also hated the show for like the first 4.
I enjoyed.
So, I stick with it. I think it's worth it.
It was like watching an episode of Jersey Shore. Oh, so bad. That was the first episode. Jersey Shore. Whatever. We'll get into that when the time comes.
So Idolmaster will be next week. The first episode was certainly weird. I do not deny that. It was strange. It was a very strange introduction to how everything was going to play out. Alright, so yeah, Idolmaster next week. We'll start wrapping up a lot more shows. WIXOSS ended this week, and a lot more shows are going to end their course next week, like Fate's Day Night and whatnot. I, everyone, am your city-bred, now turned country-bred host, Drake Chandler. And with me has been Miles.
Hi. And I guess bye.
And Will, our social media man.
Wow, thanks.
That doesn't do anything.
What glorified title should I give you, Will?
Social media guru.
I want a glorified title.
So our social media guru and the man who we attribute everything to what you guys do, to everything you guys know about us.
Oh god, that's pressure.
Will.
Yay!
Information specialist. There we go.
Yeah,
Our social media guru, information specialist, advertiser, and any other thing that he wants. Will.
We have the Anime Circuit Hummingbird account. At least.
Yes, that happened.
Where we have all of our shows that we've watched listed.
So
We're
wait-
the only ones who followed it, though.
Yeah. So
I made it like 2 hours ago.
yeah, no. I mean, yeah, that's entirely true. Okay, so guys, the people who are going to follow us, people who want to like us on, the people who do like us and are subscribers to us or whatnot, if you guys use Hummingbird, hopefully you do. We finally have our own Hummingbird account, which has all our entire library is going to be nothing but what
We've watched.
what our actual cast does. So what we're currently watching, for the podcast, what we've watched for the podcast, that's where everything's listed, so you guys can see for yourselves. We're probably gonna do like average ratings amongst all three of us for the series. Maybe in the notes, probably cover what our individual ratings is for each show.
Speaking of,
And,
let's go ahead and get one for Jyu Oh Sei. Since we're here. What do you say?
I'm in a dead middle 2.5.
I give it an 8.
What did I give it? I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4.
Out of 5.
I gave it a 4 out of 5. So 2.5, a 4, and what do you say, Miles?
4. Alright, I think we're done now.
Our average is
Let's end this
3.5.
shit.
Average is 3.5.
Okay, 3.5 for Jyu Oh Sei. Alright, but that's stuff for the Hummingbird account. I don't really think we need to give ratings here for the podcast. But, we're just gonna let you guys know that, Anime Circuit, look it up. And actually, I think Will, for whatever reason, put an underscore in between Anime and Circuit username.
I thought we had to. They put 2 words.
What?
I don't know.
No.
I didn't investigate.
I don't think
No,
it
you
matters.
don't.
I'll gonna change it then.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, Drake has the space in his name. So...
We're done.
No, he doesn't. Drake. What the fuck? Alright, then don't
Can
put
you
a
add
space,
spaces?
just...
I don't think you can. I just don't think the underscore is necessary, is all I'm saying.
But you just want all one word Anime Circuit?
But we're good. Okay. Yeah. I think that'll be easier for a lot of people.
Alright, we're done, right?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Good night, everyone!
See you in a week.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Follow us on HB.